Near-death experience dreams can be deeply unsettling and eerily vivid. The dreamscape often shifts rapidly, with hallucinatory visions of shadowy figures. The colors are often more vibrant, the sensations more acute, and some can leave a lasting, dreadful impression upon awakening. This is such a story. I still think about this every now and then, and I don't know if I've come to terms with it yet. This occurrence transpired on the 4th of July of 1991. We were going to a 4th of July party on this day. Me, my wife, and my kids. My wife's cousin Eddie was throwing a party and invited us over. So, bright and early, around 8:30 in the morning, Eddie called us, asking if I can go by his house and help set up things in his yard for the party. Of course I didn't mind, so I said yes. I made a cup of coffee for the ride and headed over to his house. I got there and found two of his friends helping, along with his dad, who was 74 at the time. God rest his soul, he was a good man, helping as well, already bringing chairs out from the cellar. They asked if I could start placing some of the chairs along the pool area, and when I was finished, to start bringing out some coolers for the beer and soda. I got all the chairs lined up, brought out the coolers and put them where they needed to be. So what's next, I asked. His dad chuckled and said, "Boy, you're fast. I'm getting too old for this shit," as the saying goes for us old folk. His dad was a great man, always cracking jokes about his age. Eddie then asked if I could grab one of the foldable tables that were on the patio. He said it was light and that it would take 2 seconds to bring it over. Not a problem, I said. I ended up grabbing 2 tables instead and brought both to the yard. I opened one up and set it to the side. As I opened the second table, one of my fingers got caught underneath the table where the legs unfolded and cut my finger. And now I said, "I'm getting too old for this shit." His dad laughed, but was concerned for my safety. It really wasn't that bad of a cut, but I was bleeding a lot, most likely hit a vein. So he jogged inside and got a first aid kit and bandaged up my finger with some iodine gauze and tape. And since my finger was now injured, his dad called me a liability and said I should head back home to get some rest before the party. I agreed with the old man, said goodbye and that I would see them later, and to make sure there were plenty of hot dogs, burgers, and brewskis because I would be coming back with an appetite. Right before I opened my car door, there was an odd smell floating around me. It smelled like seawater, like the ocean, but Eddie doesn't live anywhere near the seaside. I got in my car, buckled my seatbelt, and drove off. I pulled up to the bottom of the street and looked to my left for any oncoming vehicles. There wasn't any traffic. I wanted to listen to some music, so I turned on the radio and proceeded to turn right. And that's when I heard a loud crash. And that was the very moment that I knew I had died. I was standing in the street and saw myself inside of my car surrounded by smoke coming from the collision. The airbag was deflated. My body was draped over, leaning into the passenger side of my car. The person that crashed into me was a man, and he was standing outside of his car trying to catch his balance. Blood was trickling down his face. I was confused, touching and feeling my own body, wondering how any of this was even possible. And then it felt like someone's hand grazed the back of my head. I turned around, but no one was there. I turned back around, only to now see whom I think was the Grim Reaper. He was wearing a hooded black cloak, but his face was pale white. His body was large, with long bony fingers. He was smoking cigar after cigar, with every pull consuming half of the cigar. He called me a chicken shit and said that life would have been better if I would have stayed with my girlfriend from high school as he lit another cigar with the one he just finished. I asked him how my life would have been better with my girlfriend from high school. She passed away a year after we graduated in a boating accident. She drowned when the boat capsized from an incoming wave, and she got stuck in one of the cabins as it sank. He took another pull from his cigar and told me to follow him, that he would lead me to a better place. Soon after he said that, the entire area lit up a golden white color and my ears started ringing. Next thing I know, my bedroom alarm is going off and my wife is lying next to me. This entire thing was a dream. I shut the alarm off and sat at the edge of my bed, blown away at how real this dream felt to me. I looked down at my hands and my finger was hurting, the same finger that I had cut while sitting up the table at my wife's cousin's house in my dream. But it was only a dream. None of it was real. Until an hour later when my house phone rang. It was Eddie, my wife's cousin, asking if I can come to his house and help set up things for the 4th of July party he was throwing.